Bonjour et bienvenue, welcome chez Parfum Prononcé, Perfume Pronounced. Um, and today I am going to talk to you about a fragrance called Chergui by Serge Lutens. And before I go any further, I need to shout out to very loyal and wonderful viewers that I have. In particular, I won't give their last name, but I have Scout. So thank you, Scout, for watching. I really appreciate you viewing these videos, and as well as a fellow named Beau. So Beau's a good name. It's a French name. Beau, ça veut dire attractive. It means handsome. So I'm sure he's a handsome fella. So thank you, Scout and Beau, for watching my videos here. But yeah, back to Chergui by Serge Lutens. It's right there. Okay, this is a niche fragrance. And the reason why I'm talking about it now or today is because I've owned this fragrance for a few years now, and you can see that I've barely used any of it. Okay, that's because ambers for me, I haven't traditionally been an enormous fan of ambers, nor of alcohol, rum scent, tobacco scents. I mean, I have a couple here and there, but it's generally not my bag. I'm more of kind of like a basic, I don't know, kind of basic in a sense. I like to smell fresh. I like to smell clean. And I also like fruity, flowery. I am a huge fan of aromatic herbal scents. And I have dipped my toes in various, out there fragrances, niche fragrances, a little bit daring, a little bit things that you wouldn't normally wear, or you wouldn't want to wear in an office environment, or they're just a little out there. And that was when I was going through my phase of, early in my perfume fragrance collecting hobby career. I guess it's not a career, but early on in my days when I thought that I had to wear niche, very esoteric scents that nobody knew about and that were really daring and all that kind of stuff, and I felt like I had to do that. And this was one of the ones that I picked up when I was in that phase. And as with most things, or what happened with me in that experience, is that I bought a number of those type of fragrances. Not that this is terribly difficult. It's not a difficult fragrance. It's actually a really good amber. But those fragrances I just ended up not reaching for. I just didn't reach for them. I owned them, and every now and then I'd give them a spray and just smell them, and they're cool. Like, I appreciate the inventiveness and the creativity that went into the scent, and but they haven't been things that I've reached for. And so eventually I just stopped buying them because, one, I became more comfortable with my own taste, and I didn't feel the need to be like daring, and I didn't just for the sake of being daring, I guess. Like, I knew what I liked, and I was okay with that. And if something new or novel, if I had my nose on it and I liked it, sure, I would get it. But I didn't feel the need to to only buy niche fragrances. I'm perfectly happy with designer fragrances as well, and that was an evolution for me to make that transition to go, to kind of not be so pretentious, I guess, which there is a massive habit in this community, the fragrance community, of being of putting on airs and being pretentious about the fragrances that you're into, that you approve of, and all that kind of stuff. And by all means, like, don't get me wrong, I most certainly allowed myself to do that for a while, and it took a little bit for me to kind of come back around and be okay with the kind of scents that I enjoy, even if those scents are a little bit more mass appealing. But okay, so fall weather's coming up. It's chilly today. It's 43 degrees here where I live, and it's going to get even colder. And so we're approaching those cold months. And that kind of put me in the mood of thinking about ambers, because that's the time of year when I think about ambers, and I kind of, warm, cozy smells. I tend to, I start looking around, right? I start browsing. And the one that I almost pulled the trigger on recently, which I do have a sample of, is Grand Soir. So like grand soir, like grand evening or great occasion, evening, night. Grand Soir by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. I don't know exactly. Francis Kurkdjian or Jean or something along those lines would probably be how he pronounces it. I've never heard his name pronounced, and names are a little goofy. So yeah, he has a fragrance called Grand Soir, and it's an amber, and it is excellent. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I have it's a little 2 ml sample that I got when I bought my bottle of Baccarat Rouge 540. Baccarat Rouge, right? And I didn't buy the fragrance. I decided, I was at work and I was killing time, and I was looking at the fragrance, and on venbafragrance.com, I believe was the website that I was looking at it on, and it was, it was a couple $100 or whatever. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to pull the trigger. I'm going to go home and I'm going to test it and see if I like it. And then we'll go from there. Maybe I'll buy it after that. So I did that, I tested it. And then I started thinking about, I started looking at my collection, which isn't enormous, but it's decent. And I started looking and I realized, I started counting that I just didn't own very many ambers, any sense that could be considered in that category, in that range. So the most commercial one that I own that I would call an ambery type fragrance is Allure by Chanel. So Allure by Chanel, and then I have the one by Dolce & Gabbana. So that's another kind of ambery, tobacco-y type fragrance. And then there's this one, and I smelled this one. And that's what made me decide that I didn't need to pull the trigger and buy Grand Soir for like 200 and whatever it is dollars off a discounter. So this fragrance right here ended up saving me money, and I'm wearing it now, and it is delightful. It is delightful. It's not a fragrance, like I said, I'm not like a big amber person, but it's an excellent fragrance. The notes in it: tobacco leaf, honey, amber, hay, incense, sandalwood, iris, musk, rose. For me, I don't pretend to be able to detect all of those notes in this fragrance. For me, it's like a sweet, ambery, a little bit incensey, tobacco-y type scent, and it would be perfect for the cold weather, which is why I found myself in that frame of mind looking at ambers. And if you have all the money in the world, then buy Grand Soir, right? But if you don't, and you're looking for a really good amber that will last and perform for you, I would recommend you get a bottle of this, Chergui by Serge Lutens. It's very solid, it's very warm, it's very cozy, it's inviting. The initial blast can be a little perhaps off-putting, but let it settle for a little bit, and it's very cozy. It's lovely. It's a lovely scent, and I'm really happy that I owned it. I'm happy that I bought it back in the day when I was in my pretentious fragrance snob days, and now I'm able to appreciate it as something that I can put on every now and then in those, the colder months, when late fall or early winter and throughout the winter. In terms of who would wear this, I don't know. People who like ambers, people who like to smell good would wear this fragrance. So if you want a good amber at and it also falls in a niche category, something that you're not going to find at Macy's or anything like that, definitely I would say pick up Chergui by Serge Lutens. And again, that's Chergui by Serge Lutens. So it has my recommendation. If you're looking for a good amber, moving into these colder winter months, yeah, for sure get it. So yeah, I guess that's about it.